sorry. Oops. Okay, I'm trying to make sure the volume is up. Let's see if I can not turn us off this time. All right, let me get my iPad on. Just gonna find us on the iPad here. There it is. Hey, hi Rhonda. Hi. Welcome, welcome. Just trying to get myself together here. Sorry to keep moving that. Gonna give it just a minute for someone else to come on. Hope you're all comfy, Rhonda. I've had two projects in mind today, but I'm only gonna do one. Oh, not in bed yet? I tell you, I feel like I could be. What a week it has been again. I've been so crazy busy. I bet you have been too, gearing up for your new adventure. Sorry, I don't mean to get up close and personal here. Just trying to get it at the right angle. So I'm just gonna give it a couple more minutes. Please say hello when you pop in. Let me know where you're from where you're watching. And then I'll get started on what we're gonna do tonight. Hello, Pam from Missouri. And I've got notifications on my phone. Oh, hello everyone. Rhonda, I do have, actually a week from tomorrow is my first Saturday market. They're doing market a little bit different this year, so I won't be there every single week. And then I have a show set up for August. So far, that's all. Some Saturday markets, and then an art show in August. I've applied to one other one, and we'll see. I didn't get into that show last year, so I might not. But hopefully I can get in. And I truly love it. It's a ton of work to drag everything there and get everything set up. And then they only want to give you a 10 by 10. And if I have all my pre-made stuff and my tanks, I really need a 10 by 20 to have a comfortable shopping area and checkout and all of that. So a lot of them won't let you have a 10 by 20. So you figure it out. But okay, well, let's get started. I'm gonna move this light that's right in front of me. I'm gonna point it down a little bit because it's blinding me. So I'm just gonna get back here and point this thing down a little bit more. There, maybe that will help. That was just right in my eyes. So, hello everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Linda Anderson and I am the owner of Aqueous Silk. This is a water marbling company. Hi Holly. And tonight we are gonna do round 2 of ribbon marbling. Now, I had marbled silk ribbon last week. I meant to bring it out here to show you. And I liked it. I don't know. I've been having some issues with my paints, and I think they're old. Hello, Karen. Welcome. And so it wasn't as vibrant as I wanted. And it was silver ribbon. So tonight I ordered over the weekend some white ribbon. It's not silk. I have some linen ribbon, and I don't even know what the other one is, but it has sparkles on the side, and that's all I care about. So I want to try a different technique tonight. I'm still going to marble it, but I'm going to put it on the surface just a little bit different. Hello, Mackenzie. I'm going to put it on the surface a little bit different and see if my results are a little better. I'm also using brand new paint. So without any further yakking, I will get started. And I'm going to point you down, so if you get seasick, look away for a little bit. And I'm going to put that down. I'm going to clear the surface of the water, and then I'll get started. So I hope everyone has had a wonderful Friday. Fridays are always fantastic for me because I get to do this. Although, before I put you down, that reminds me. Since I am starting Saturday Market, I'm going to try to go live in this time slot between 7 and whenever I get done on Monday nights. Starting, not this week, but the following week. So next Friday, there will not be a live. I'll be loading my trailer. But then that following Monday, I'll go live. And at that time, well, I'll show you what I'm going to do at that time. But anyway, I wanted to remind you, no live next Friday, but I'm moving it to Mondays. There's just no way I can do a live and get the trailer loaded and get to bed and all of that. So I'm ready to get up at 5 a.m. on Saturday to get to the location, to unload the trailer, and all the fun stuff. I mean, I truly love it, but it is a lot of work. So now I'm going to point you down so you can see the water. I'm gonna have to get up close and personal here for a minute while I get this into position. That looks pretty good. Again, you can't see the whole tank because this thing is too long. But if you notice, the water has a blue tint to it today. This is the water I used last week, and I used red, white, and blue. This is what's left over. This will not impact what I'm doing tonight. Just because the water looks blue doesn't hurt anything at all. So let me clear the surface. This just removes any dust, bugs, bubbles, all of that from the surface, and I have a nice clean palette upon which my water or my paint can float. As it appears that I'm going to have speech problems tonight. Words are not going to come out very well. Okay, so there we go. We have a nice clean surface to start with. And these are the ribbons. This is my 2.5-inch linen ribbon that I was going to use, but the way I'm going to do this tonight, I needed a depth of at least 2.5 inches, and I have 3, 6, 9.5 gallons of water in here, and it's not deep enough to accommodate my 2.5-inch ribbon, so we're only going to be doing the 1.5 inches tonight, and I'm going to test my theory. So see this, can you see the sparkles in this ribbon? And I'm hoping that once it's marbled, it will retain that sparkle. So this is not silk ribbon. This is polyester ribbon, and I know polyester will marble because that's my satin that I marble, and I do also do some grosgrain ribbon and some just satin ribbon that marbles. And that is all polyester. Okay, so I'm going to stay with my color palette of red, white, and blue. Now I already have white ribbon, so I'm only going to use the red and blue. These are brand new bottles of paint. And I am going to use the stone pattern, which I am always forgetting to do. So tonight we're definitely doing that. So let me get a little bit of paint in these cups. Ugh, if I can get the lid off. I may have to go in the house and get some muscle. Here I had my 2 big buckets ready to put my ribbon in. Oh, there I got it. My ribbon in, and then I didn't even have enough water. I didn't think about that until I was, you'd think 10.5 gallons are in here. not 9.5, because I have three 3-gallons and then a half of 3 gallons, which would be a 1.5 gallons. There we go. This one, the blue one, was easier to get open. I have the white just inside the door in case I decide to add a little white to this. Hello, Desiree. I'm glad you got to catch me live also, Holly. I went live a little bit later tonight because I did get off early, but we didn't know until the last minute, and then there's traffic and all of that, so I just said, well, I'll just schedule it for later, and maybe I'll get a few more viewers. So this is just pouncing it on, dropping the stones right on the water, random sized droplets. And these are droplets. I will probably add some white to this just because I know me. I'll add several layers of red and then blue and then red and then blue. This is only one of the ways you can apply paint to the surface. The more paint you have on the surface, the brighter and more intense your colors become. As you watch this red, it's kind of spread out, and as I work it, add more paint, you're going to see it become very red. Now see, on the silver, it didn't do that, and I don't know if it's because it was silver or because my paint is so old. I just like to try to get all the paint out of the broom straw that I can, so I don't waste any. And plus it kind of gives it cool little bitty droplets. Okay, that's that for the first go round of red. I'll just place this on a towel, and now I'll do the blue. They used to use, when this art form originated, they would use a rosebush stem and horsehair or some type of hair like that to apply the paint to the surface. And I am so thankful that we don't have to go to all of that. I can just buy some broom straw and bundle it in whatever size bundles that I want. Sorry, I just kicked the bottles that are right under the table. I'll probably do that more than once. I have not yet learned to not put the bottles right where my feet go. Anywhere there is not red or blue paint, the white will show through. Yeah, I'm pleased with the way my ribbon turned out last time, but it just didn't look the way I had envisioned or the way I know it can look. So that's why I'm trying again today. So now we'll go back to the red. And I just poured some paint in these little Dixie cups. I can can use, I have a fan brush I can use. I have just a real soft paint brush I can use to accomplish this same look. It's slightly different, but the broom straw is my favorite to use for this purpose. Now, can you tell that the red is becoming more red? See where the new stuff I added is very pink looking? Red will never be the last color I put in here unless I have a lot of paint on the surface, because it pushes very hard and it pushes things out of the way. Okay, now we'll go back to the blue. I'm trying to keep this in the tank itself instead of splattered all over my table, all over the garage floor. And I think I am going to have to add a little bit of white. I'm going to try not to add a ton. But I want to keep adding paint until there are no great big spots like this. It's very relaxing for you, Rhonda. I'll help you fall asleep. But I don't want big spots. I'm only dealing with 1.5 inch ribbon, so I have to be very cognizant of the size of my design. So let me just step in and grab that white paint. Again, I don't want to add a whole bunch of this, but I do want just a little bit to break this up. This is such a fun art form to perform, and every result is going to be different. So this bundle is a little bit smaller than the other two. As I said, we really don't need a white in here, but that's just going to add a little bit more pressure on the other colors, help push it together. The more paint you have in your tank, the more vibrant your colors become. So we really like to layer the paint in here. For those of you who may be new, this is Ebru water marbling. I'm floating acrylic paint on the surface of the water, and then we're going to print ribbon tonight. I don't know how it's going to look when it's done, but we're going to try it. So now I'll come back to a little bit of red, because remember, I don't want red to be the last color I put in here until I have a lot of paint on. I want a nice bright red and nice bright blue. So we're just going to keep layering this paint in here. This is a very relaxing art form to do. When you move paint, ordinarily when I put the paint down, then I take my different tools and I move the paint around. Tonight I'm only doing the stone pattern, which is what you see here. This is called throwing stones. It's believed that this was either, they think it was to mimic the stones under the water. Some say it is to mimic the clouds in the sky. So I'm going to go around at the other side of the table and just tap this right in this area. Then I'm going to come back with the blue again. So you just keep layering it in here until you get the look that you want. See, can you see how bright the red is through here? I don't know if you can tell on screen or not, but it's starting to get where it needs to be. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit more white. I'm just tapping very lightly. I don't want any great big droplets. At some point as I do this, the surface will become so tight with paint that the paint will not spread very much. And that's kind of what we want. So now I'll do red again, which means I'll need to do blue again. I love the randomness of this. I have the personality where you get very, everything has to be very symmetrical. And so this gives me a huge sense of freedom because I'm literally letting the paint fall wherever it wants to and behave like it wants to. There's only thing I'm doing is moving this around. Okay, now I'll come in with more blue. I'm liking it a lot where that, I'm getting blue all over my table here. It's going to be very difficult for me not to swirl through, hello Dawn, not to swirl through this after I'm done, because that's one of my favorite things is moving the paint. Now I see that this kind of is interesting. The red is kind of pushing together, which is what I want, except in these like center areas. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas where it's kind of staying a little larger. So what I'm going to come and do is a little bit more white, try to keep it in those areas. Now I'll come in with the red and the blue again. Oops. I really just do not want to see the paint expand very much. All right, I must not be getting enough on here. Woo. Got some that time. And we'll come in with some blue. I am such a wimp. I hate dirty hands, and the masters will take they'll have a natural brush and they'll squeeze the excess paint out of the end of the brush, and I just can't bear to do anything like that. I'd have to wash my hands immediately. That's one of the silly things, but I'm not nearly as bad as I used to be. I just absolutely love the way it looks between these great big blobs here. I don't know why it keeps pushing out. This art form is very temperamental. Depending upon the weather, it behaves absolutely differently from one day to the next. Humidity, temperature, wind, all of that plays a part in the behavior of this art form. Okay, blue. I'm just layering this paint right on here. Kicking the bottles again. Now look at that. I have a great big blue spot there. Darn it. So back to the white. We're gonna get this to work, I tell you. It's usually best to use more than 3 colors, and you don't have to do all these layers. Well, you still have to do layers, but each layer is like a different color. This is looking so cool. This would make a beautiful scarf. Does anyone wear scarves here that's watching? I still love to wear scarves. Although I am working on my first quilt with marbled fabric in it, and oh my gosh, I am in love. Any quilters out there? You want a specific, I can marble you a custom piece of fat quarter of cotton. It's just sewed up so beautifully. Oh, I can't show it yet, but as soon as I can show the whole thing, I will. I'm almost out of red paint, so this will be probably my last pass with the red. Yep, we can work on, you tell me what colors you want and we can do it. Okay, I think I'm going to try to get just this last little bit of red out of here. And then I'll pop some white on again and then we'll be ready to go. And all I'm going to do with this to clean it is just throw it in my rinse bucket. Everything that's marbled, well, not everything. When cloth is marbled, it goes immediately out of the tank and into a rinse bucket. So there, I have that somewhat clean. I have a great big red mess on my counter. My poor tables. Let's see, I wanted a little bit more white. I'm going to just get a little blue, see if we can get some blue to fall in these white spots. Because I'm trying to have small, just, again, small designs, because I'm working with, I see I have red, white, and blue paint on my iPad screen. But I'm working with a very small surface. All right. So I'm going to set these aside. Let me just rinse the blue and the white one out a little bit. My water has turned a beautiful purple. The paint on the surface of the water will dry. You have about 20 minutes to work with it before it starts drying. It could be less depending upon the temperature where you are, you know, whether it's a warm breeze blowing or those kind of influences. But generally you have approximately 20 minutes to get your paint put down and your print made. I work on leather, cotton, satin, that's polyester, ribbons, paper, glass, oh, what else? Canvas, the stretched canvases. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to go get a second set of hands. So, hello Helen, welcome. So let me get, hi Colleen. Let me get my assistant here, please. All right, dear. So the last time I tried this, last week, it was a 2.5 inch ribbon, and I put it down flat. I'm trying to do the full 10-yard roll. I don't want to cut it. And so this week, and when I do dimensional things, I do them in a deep tub, and then I just place them down in there. So I'm going to try to hold the ribbon by its edge and put it down instead of laying it flat on the surface, and hopefully then we can make this curve at the bottom and come back up this way a little bit easier. So we'll see if my idea works. These are the kind of things I think of when I'm either driving to or from work or right before I go to sleep. So you'll want to come over here. And don't trip on the cords when you have to go the back way. Okay, so this is a ribbon we're using, 1.5 inch polyester ribbon with sparkles. Don't let it slip out of your hand. So I'm just going to try to just stand it right up in here. Once the ribbon is wet and touches the water, it will not take the design again. So I'm being very careful and not to touch the ribbon with my wet hand or paint on my hand, because it will take, keep going, I need more. It will take the design, the paint right off my fingers. I want to make sure that edge gets in there. And last time this took me 2 tanks to get the ribbon all the way in. I think I'm gonna come down the middle this time though with this. This is not as wide and I'm using less surface since it's going in up and down and not flat. Okay, so go behind me again. So I'm gonna take this right down the center. And yes, if you are wondering, all of my microfiber towels do have paint on them. I just dropped it. Try to go one more. Now be careful, don't trip. He could trip and end up marbled.
The iPad could.
Yeah, or oh, watch what you're doing here. We're getting down to the end. It looks like we're gonna get this in one tank. Let go of that.
Try not to lose tail.
Go ahead and pull it all the way off so we know what we're dealing with. All right, there's 10 yards of ribbon in there. Oh boy. So, now the fun part. Let's start taking it out and see what it looks like. It still sparkles. Can you move that out just a little bit, please? So I'm literally taking it out of the tank and putting it right into the bucket of water. I'm making sure it is falling into the bucket of water and not onto the floor. I think this turned out much better than the silver ribbon did. It's much more vibrant colored. We'll see how it looks once it's been rinsed. And I'll just hang it to dry in my bathroom. Still pulling it out of the tank, just about to the end. All right, it is in the bucket. Okay, So what I'm gonna do now is, I'll actually take you down off the stand and show you the way it looks in the bucket. This water has been used for 2 weeks already. I will go ahead and clear the surface pretty well. It won't be absolutely clean, and then I'll empty one of my rinse buckets, drain the tank into that, and then I use this water to fertilize my flowers outside, because the base in the water is a seaweed powder, so they like that a lot. Hello, Debbie. You just missed the fun, but I'm about ready to show you what I made. So this is the leftovers. I could put something on this, paper or something, and it'd be called a ghost print. I've taken most of the paint off the surface. It's all on the ribbon that's in the bucket. And this is, when you lift a design off the water, the paint that remains in the tank tries to float out and fill the void. Well, this one, I kind of drug the ribbon through it, so it mixed it a little bit better. So it would be very faint, except in there's a few spots where it's very vibrant, kind of on the ends. But it's called a ghost print, because it's the same kind of design, but it is much lighter. It's there, but it's not really there. So now if you get sick, close your eyes a second, and I'll show you how it looks in the rinse bucket. So here you go, you're gonna come down. Hopefully I don't drop you into the tank. Excuse my hands. All right, so let's go down. So I'm gonna turn you around so I can see. So this is the end of the tank. So there is some good color there. If I had some paper prepped, I could put that right in this area and make a ghost print. But now let's go over here to the bucket. So I know you see the shop light in there, but there's the ribbon in the bucket. And you'll see a little bit of paint like here floating around on the surface. That's just the excess, but this is kind of how the ribbon looks. And the sparkles are still there and are still visible. Now my hand is wet and I don't have a towel. Hold on. So, hold on. I'm still moving all over. Hang with me, hang with me. All right, so, but this is the tank. This is the full tank here. There's 76 inches of it. I always think it's 84, but my scarves are 74, so there's 76 inches of tank. And I looped that ribbon around 4 times, I believe. Because I went 1, 2, and maybe 2.5 times. I guess there were 4 strips in there, so 2.5 times around the tank. And that's what's left over in there. So that was pretty good. My idea was now to have I'm going to do the 2.5 inch next time, but I need more water. It needs to come nearly to the top of this to be deep enough to put it in like I did. And I'm going to see when I hang the ribbon back up, when I hang it in the tub and let it dry, I'm going to see if I like the results of this one better than I like the last one. And if that's the case, then I'll know this is the way I want to print my ribbon. And I can do 10 yards at a time, which I did last time, but it has a few drippy places in it that I really wasn't happy, because when you've got 2.5 inches, you're laying it flat, and then you're trying to make the corner like this as it's flat. It just didn't corner very nicely. So that's all I have for tonight, everyone. I did want to do the other one also, but I just didn't have enough water. I really anticipated that this would fill the tank much more than it had. I need at least 2 more bottles of water to get that to the depth that I need. So I certainly appreciate you all being here. Watch for the photos of the ribbon. Once I get it hung, I'll show it to you while it's still dripping, and then I'll show it to you tomorrow when it's dry. So I hope you enjoyed that. I know this is much more brief than you're used to, but again, I only got to do one roll of ribbon. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend. Everyone rest well tonight. Enjoy your Saturday. I hope you get to relax at home. So until a week from Monday is when I'll be back. I'll come on briefly for my setup at Saturday Market. Ooh, look at me, I'm sweating. At Saturday Market next Saturday and show you the setup. But thank you everyone. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, as I said. Relax, enjoy, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.